Right now at 5, some local businesses sound off on what happens when the federal government stops making pennies.
And we've got a fantastic Friday ahead of us. More storm chances on the way, though. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, 1 in 5 children continue to face food insecurity in southwest Missouri. We'll take a look at what's being done to combat the issue.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOA Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now finally Friday in the 4 states, May
Yes.
the 30th. One more day of this month, and then we kick off the unofficial start to summer in the 4 states. And so we are looking forward to it. And a lot of you probably looking forward to today because it is going to be a very nice day, especially compared to what we've seen here lately. But first, we have some fog to get through this morning. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. Looking okay from our camera there in downtown Pittsburgh, which is good. MoDOT camera situated at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. Also looking pretty good this morning, but we do have some dense fog advisories, parts of northeastern Oklahoma and into Benton County in Arkansas. These run until 9 a.m., and this would be why, because, well, we've got some dense fog. Now, Joplin is reporting some pretty reduced visibilities. You can see Pittsburgh looks all right, but then you get to Joplin, Carthage, reduced visibilities there. We did have some dense fog over here just to the northwest of Parsons, but that's cleared out at least on the fog tracker. And then you get down into parts of Delaware and Benton counties. We got some significantly reduced visibilities there. Bentonville down to 2 miles, and then not quite to Cassville, but you can see right there we got some dense fog into the eastern portions of Berry County. So once again, you know the drill. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Give yourself time to get where you're going. Now, once this fog burns off by about 7, 8 at the latest, we'll have just a few clouds rolling through the day today. Otherwise, fantastic, and temperatures looking amazing as well as we warm back into the 70s across the region for us today. Not much to show. However, as we roll into our Saturday, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, but new information continues to come in, and it comes in all the time. We now have a level 1 out of 5 risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms tomorrow in some of our western counties. This is going to be into the afternoon, say after 3 o'clock, and then we could still get scattered storms, and some of those might still try and be strong outside of that as we roll through tomorrow evening. We're going to break that down for you, and of course, we still have next week's severe weather to talk about as well. We're at 51 in Joplin right now, 55 in Pittsburgh. Kind of hard to believe that one of the warmest days we're going to have this week is starting out as one of the cooler days we've had all week. Got most of us into the low to mid 50s. We got Stockton, Carthage down there a little cooler, 50. And as our temperatures fall back a wee bit more to our lows, we might even get a couple upper 40s this morning. But worry not, because again, temperatures will increase. Just a few clouds, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, and we'll make right about the mid 70s, maybe even some upper 70s here and there. So a fantastic day. And most of our Saturday looks good as well, so don't necessarily cancel your plans yet, but we do have storm chances Saturday. We'll talk about that, and like I said, our severe weather chances next week in the full forecast, and of course that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Authorities responded to a car crash on Kafer Road yesterday. According to witnesses, the mail carrier lost control, hydroplaned, and flipped over. The daughter of the driver confirmed her mother was transported to an area hospital for evaluation. And a rollover crash alerts first responders in Jasper County near Asbury around 6 a.m. yesterday. A Pontiac Grand Am traveling west swerved to avoid hitting an animal on Baseline Boulevard near County Road 255. Now that swerve resulted in the driver losing control and going off the road, overturning multiple times into the north side of the road. Asbury and Tri-Cities Fire, along with Jasper County deputies and Met's ambulance, responded. The 22-year-old driver from Springfield was transported to Mercy Pittsburgh. There are no further updates on her condition. Warmer and drier weather could send more boaters and fishermen to the lake this weekend. Now on Table Rock, they'll face floating and unseen dangers in the water. Marina operators can still rent boats, but not jet ski rentals at Cape Fair, and all the floating and underway debris is making it too dangerous to put them on the water. Now, boaters say take it slow and be aware of the damage limbs could cause to your vessel. People who work on the dock say they're thankful the weather damage isn't as bad this year as it was last year.
Behind me, a dock was wooden last year, so it was a lot lighter than the rest of our other docks, which are concrete. So when we had a storm come through pretty suddenly, it flipped this dock. So about halfway through, it was all flipped over, upside down in the water.
They've since fixed that dock, and now crews are just working on picking up floating limbs from the water. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, big changes are coming to the way we spend our change. The U.S. Treasury has announced it will stop manufacturing pennies starting early 2026. According to the U.S. Mint, it now costs nearly 4 times more than a penny's value just to mint and distribute it. Now, we spoke with a local coin collector from In God We Trust LLC in Mendamines, who says while it makes sense to stop making sense, that doesn't mean the penny will vanish completely.
So I'm encouraging people to recirculate their modern American coinage, particularly when they do transactions through the window of the car, when you pull up to the coffee shop or to the fast food place. Pay for those items with loose change. Not only how they balance their till at the end of the evening, it's how people get tips.
Now, according to Newsweek, due to the cost of zinc, the government lost over $85 million in 2024 by producing about 3 billion pennies. And throughout the year, students who may be experiencing food insecurity at home can count on getting meals at school. But what about during summer break? KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on local efforts to make sure no child has to go hungry.
A recent report from Feeding America shows that 1 in 5 children continue to face hunger and food insecurity in Southwest Missouri. It's an issue organizations like Ozark Food Harvest know all too well. And the summertime means more stress for families struggling.
So many of those kiddos that are living with families or that are in a part of families that are food insecure have access to the free and reduced lunch program for about 9 months out of the year. And so when the summer hits, suddenly it becomes very difficult for families to figure out how are we going to cover that meal gap for the next 3 months.
It's a question school districts in Southwest Missouri frequently see families struggle with. It's why summer meal programs can be an important resource.
Because this is another option for them if they don't have this at home, that at least for the 4 weeks that we provide summer school, they can eat every day, at least Monday through Friday, 2 meals a day.
Using federal grants, area school districts in Southwest Missouri can provide breakfast and lunch to children 18 and under to ensure no one will go hungry, even if school isn't in session.
We have here in Joplin, we have a pretty high food insecure population, so it's just another option for them. You know, there are other programs that do great things, but it's just another option for them. And plus, a lot of these kiddos are comfortable in their school.
Last summer, Joplin schools served more than 55,000 meals through their summer program. In Carthage, they averaged more than 1,200 a day.
That's why we want it to be nutritionally dense as much as possible, you know, with a few fun foods thrown in there. But this may be the only meals that they get.
These meals are open for all children in the community. They don't have to be attending summer school to be able to come and leave with a full stomach.
There are no income guidelines. It's just free to all.
They can just walk in from the street and just grab a meal.
But Ozark Food Harvest says the federal program offered through area school districts is just one food resource for families this summer. They also work with other organizations across the state to make sure children have access.
ozarksfoodharvest.org/need help, and that has a listing of all of the charities spread across our 28 county service areas. So that way folks can see whether it's a food pantry, a feeding site, or a summer school feeding site, what is closest to them so that way they can get access.
Reporting in Southwest Missouri, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now we have a list of participating programs where families can find summer meals on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump and Elon Musk are set to hold a joint news conference as tariffs make a comeback. And we have a warm and mostly cloudy, sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this afternoon, President Donald Trump and Elon Musk are expected to hold a joint news conference on Musk's last day as a special government employee. CBS News has learned that 2 other DOJ staffers are also leaving. This as the president's reciprocal tariffs against other nations were restored by a federal appeals court just a day after they were temporarily blocked by another panel of judges. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Charged with slashing through the federal workforce. Ahead of his final day at DOJ, Elon Musk not completely cut out of government. President Donald Trump on social media posted, "Musk will always be with us, helping all the way."
The entire cabinet understands the need to cut government waste. Surely the mission of DOJ will continue.
White House officials have confirmed at least 2 other DOJ staffers are also leaving their posts. On his way out, Musk sat for an exclusive with CBS Sunday Morning. In the conversation airing this weekend, Musk acknowledged he and the current administration haven't always seen eye to eye.
I don't want to, speak out against the administration, but I don't want to. I also don't want to take responsibility for everything the administration is doing.
He didn't elaborate, but one issue Musk has reportedly broken with the White House over, President Trump's tariffs, which are now back on. Wednesday, the U.S. International Trade Court ruled that the president didn't have the authority to use an emergency powers law to impose his sweeping tariffs against nearly every country on the planet. 24 hours later, a federal appeals court temporarily halted that tariff pause, though not commenting on the merits of the case.
We're even more confident that we're going to win in the end.
The White House says so far the dueling rulings haven't affected trade talks.
You will see a cascade of new deals coming out in the near future.
President Trump on social media last night called on the Supreme Court to step in. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now today, President Trump is also scheduled to travel to Pennsylvania to tout a partnership deal between U.S. Steel and Japan-based Nippon Steel. And still to come, new research shows that patients with depression may have a higher risk of dementia. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, winners have been revealed in a dazzling out-of-this-world photography contest, and they include 24 earthbound artists and one that was based in space. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at the absolute cream of the crop of otherworldly images showcasing the breathtaking beauty of the Milky Way galaxy. The 2025 Milky Way Photographer of the Year contest, hosted by travel photography blog Capture the Atlas, saw some 6,000 submissions from 25 countries. Capture the Atlas curator Dan Zafra whittled the field down to 25 winning images, each selected for quality, the story behind the shot, and the overall inspiration it provides. All the winning selections were taken under dark skies, far from light pollution, in remote corners of the world, and in a first for the competition, one was captured from space itself. Astronaut and photographer Dan Pettit's winning entry was shot from the International Space Station while he was aboard. Organizers say its inclusion bridges the gap between science and art, adding a fresh perspective to an out-of-this-world Shutterbug showcase that celebrates from Earth and now beyond the astounding galaxy that surrounds us. Back on Earth, one of the planet's most active volcanoes put on an otherworldly show of its own. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano was caught on U.S. Geological Survey cameras blasting a powerful, sustained geyser of lava an incredible 1,000 feet into the sky. The fiery plume was the pinnacle of an eruptive tantrum that lasted more than 6 hours. It was Kilauea's 23rd eruptive event since December, and one that reached new and awe-inspiring heights. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Some incredible images there. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we do have some dense fog advisories out there for parts of the area as we've got fog building this morning. We'll have another full look at your forecast, talk about our Saturday rain chances and next week's storm chances when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Just about 14 seconds away from 5:22. on this Friday morning. Dense fog advisories, as we showed you, parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas through 9 o'clock in the morning. That's because we are seeing dense fog building. Now, we're seeing it really start to build across parts of southwest Missouri and then back into northwest Arkansas. So Joplin, Carthage, Mount Vernon, Cassville, Anderson, Bentonville, Grove, all with reduced visibilities. Veneta as well. So again, remember to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Give yourself time to get where you're going. And just watch out for those areas of dense fog because, again, even on just the drive from there to here, ran into some areas where visibility suddenly dropped and then they were clear again on the other side. So do be cautious this morning. Now, here's what we've got. We've got the chance for some strong, low-grade severe storms tomorrow afternoon and evening. At this point, mainly into our western counties where we have an isolated hail risk and an isolated damaging wind risk. So we're talking 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds and maybe up to quarter-size hail with some of these storms. So what does that look like? Well, it's those pop-up storms we've been talking about. They look like they might get a little more organized. Today, though, looks fantastic. There's just a few clouds out there. Otherwise, not much to show on the future track, other than also it's going to be warmer, which will also be quite nice. But as we go into Saturday, now the first two-thirds almost of our Saturday are not bad. We start off in the 50s, so pretty close to average, a little below in some cases, but as we go into the afternoon, we start warming up pretty nicely. As you can see, we're getting pretty close to 80 by noon tomorrow, and we start to see some clouds here and there. And once we get 2, 3 o'clock, we start to see thunderstorms developing, and this is where that window for some strong to low-grade severe storms will be. Now, right now, there's no strong storm risk really beyond, say, Chanute to Parsons and points west, but as we go through the evening, you can see we do get some additional storms. They don't look nearly as impressive as they do when they first get going, but we will want to keep an eye on these storms as we get a couple of rounds of them as we go overnight into Saturday. So we want to keep that in mind. So again, the first half of your Saturday is great. If you got something you want to do early, go ahead and get it done. Just be prepared later in the afternoon and evening for these thunderstorm chances. Then we roll into our Sunday, and Sunday looks fantastic as well. And we have a few clouds to start the day, and then we just go with those sunny skies, and then partly cloudy again by the afternoon and evening. Temperatures back into the 80s. So for today, a great day. As I mentioned, just a few clouds here and there, upper 50s to start our day, near 70 by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today right around the mid-70s in our southern counties, maybe even some upper 70s, and I'll have a northwest breeze at 5 to 10, so it'll feel pretty decent out there. Then we go into the evening, still initially a few clouds, then we clear out completely overnight. Winds will be calm, so some patchy fog overnight tonight into tomorrow morning will still be possible, and we'll fall back into the low to mid-50s for most of us. Then we go in the next week. We go maybe even as early as Monday night into Tuesday. We get some showers and thunderstorms out there, and Tuesday is when we start to see our severe chances increase a bit. Looking at maybe, and again, remember the future track is painting a broad area of where showers and storms could be, but this area here, we're looking at maybe a line of storms that could develop by Tuesday afternoon into the evening, and that's when our window for those strong to severe storms will roll in. Those will continue overnight, maybe into early Wednesday morning before they'll eventually clear out. Wednesday, we'll have a few isolated storms here and there. It won't be until late Wednesday night going into Thursday morning next week. We'll see additional showers and thunderstorms out there, and right now it's a little too far out to have anything highlighted for any severe weather chances, but at this time, we still want to watch all of our storm chances from Tuesday through at least next Friday because we could be dealing with some additional strong, potentially severe thunderstorms, and you can see where heavy rain could also be a concern as well. So again, at this time, the only area that we have highlighted is for Tuesday, and this morning's update, because this updates, the long-range one doesn't update until 4 a.m. each day. It's very similar to where it was yesterday, right? Almost right along and to the west of the US 69 corridor. So we want to keep a close eye on these storms starting Tuesday and continuing through at least next Friday out there for the potential for some additional strong to severe thunderstorms. So all of our afternoon and evening storms on Saturday, low 80s, and the 80s are going to be the trend for a while, save Wednesday. But we'll have those thunderstorm chances as well, and temperatures at, or in some cases, like next Tuesday, maybe a little above normal for our highs. Let's check your forecast. We're send it over to Lise with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, most Americans have no idea that alcohol is linked to an increased risk of cancer. A study by the University of Texas found nearly 60% of adults were unaware or uncertain of a link. An estimated 75,000 cancer cases every year are associated with alcohol, and the study's authors say more needs to be done to raise public awareness. People with depression are more likely to develop dementia. A study by the University of Nottingham found a link between depression and dementia, and it also found depression later in life may even be an early warning sign of dementia. Now, the study highlights that treating depression is critical to protecting brain health. And women who are self-employed tend to have better heart health than non-self-employed women. A study by UCLA found the reason for lower rates of heart disease among self-employed women may be a better balance of stress, time demands, and home responsibilities. Men didn't experience as significant a benefit from being self-employed, though the reasons why aren't clear. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Neosho tunes up for its annual spring concert series.
Now we've got another round of fog to start our Friday morning, but a great day ahead of us. So look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, Vernon County saddles up for a rodeo and youth fair. We take you there.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's finally Friday in the 4 states, May the 30th. And it is the 30th, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. It is.
Correct.
Okay, good. All right. I want to make sure. It's been not a bad week, just an interesting week. Things
right.
going on, things
Holiday
to talk
weekend
about.
at the beginning.
It throws that, kids are out of school. So
right.
that really throws everything off because you have your routine. You get home, you wait,
change for summer a little bit.
It certainly does change a bit for us. And hopefully your routine, though, is changing for the better. And hopefully you'll have an opportunity to enjoy some of this nice weather today because it is going to be a great day. Now, we do have patchy fog, though, which I'll show you in a moment. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are mostly clear, and that's how they'll remain through today. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. Can't really see much fog there, but the fog tracker is showing some dense fog, especially in the Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Dense fog advisories for parts of northeast Oklahoma and Arkansas until 9 o'clock this morning. And here's a look at the fog trackers. This is what I'm talking about. Cassville down to 1 mile of visibility. So Cassville, Mount Vernon, Carthage, Joplin, Anderson, Bentonville, Grove, all reporting some reduced visibilities, as well as Veneta. You can barely see it, but it's starting to creep into parts of Craig County down there. So just again, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Just be prepared for that. And also, you can see even just outside of Cassville how dark that gray color is here. I mean, it is very dark. So we're talking some pretty dense fog out there. You also want to watch out for some of those occasional areas of very dense fog where your visibilities may be fine for a mile or so and all of a sudden they drop to zero. So just be careful on your way to wherever it is you may be going today. All right, future track for today. Other than a few clouds here and there and warmer temperatures, there's not much to show, which is fantastic. It's nice to show not just the warmer weather, but the fact we're actually going to see the sun. Saw a little sun last night, yesterday evening, and was very, very shocked, very pleasantly shocked to see some sunlight. However, so we roll into Saturday. Yeah, I know, we're looking forward to Saturday, but we do have a level 1 out of 5 risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms into our western counties. Those pop-up storms look like they may try and get a little more organized for us, and there are probably going to be a few more of them as we roll through the evening hours on Saturday. And we'll go over that with you here in just a few more minutes. We're at 53 in Joplin, 54 in Pittsburgh right now, so temperature, some of us a bit on the chilly side. Cooler spot looks to be Monette right now at 50, but otherwise just about all of us low to mid 50s as we get this Friday underway. Our temperatures again warmer today. Most of us should at least make the mid 70s, maybe even some upper 70s in our southern counties, so low 60s by 9, about 70 by noon, and mid 70s, upper 70s into the afternoon with a northwest breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's just a great day overall. Most of our Saturday is pretty good. Our Sunday is also really good, but we've got those storm chances Saturday afternoon and evening, and then we've got those severe weather chances as we roll into the next work week. We'll go over all those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, students and families looking for information on student loans could head out to the Miami High School. Staff from the school helped with FAFSA and Oklahoma Promise applications yesterday. Now, students currently enrolled in the 11th grade must complete the Oklahoma Promise application by June 30th. For those interested who missed yesterday's event, don't worry. The library is hosting another session today. And one sure sign that summer is just around the corner is the opening of community splash pads, pools, and aquatic centers. And today is the day for some area communities. Now, chillier temps postponed the opening of the Miami pool and splash pad, but both plan to open their doors today. Now, the same goes for the Joplin Aquatic Center and Water Fun Centers in Pittsburgh. And Neosho struck a chord with its Big Spring Park free concert series last night. Visitors enjoyed the orchestral folk stylings of Molly Healy. Due to the recent rains, last night's concert moved indoors to the Neosho Newton County Library. If the weather cooperates, the next concert will be outdoors at Big Spring Park and is set for June 21st. It's the Americana indie rock band Dandelion Heart. And saddle up for the rodeo in Vernon County. Yesterday was night one of rodeo at the Vernon County Fairgrounds. The rodeo will be going all weekend, and this weekend you can expect to see all the rodeo staples like team roping breakaway, bronco riding, and yes indeed, bull riding as well. The rodeo begins every night at 8 p.m. For adults, it will be $10 at the gate, and kids will get in for $8. Now, despite some unfavorable weather yesterday, the rodeo still went on as scheduled. And just a quick heads up to our viewers today. Due to tower maintenance, KOAM TV, Fox CW, and MeTV plans to temporarily be off the air today. We do apologize for the interruption, and our engineers will have us back on the air as soon as the work is complete. You can continue to follow our news coverage at KOAMNewsNow.com or watch on the free KOAM Plus TV streaming app. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A new poll shows that Americans are growing more hopeful about the economy, but stress remains high. Plus, Hormel is recalling its Dinty Moore beef stew. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, Las Vegas built its reputation on crowds, but there are fewer visitors on the Strip and hotel rates are climbing. Andres Gutierrez looks at what is cooling America's playground and what could spark a rebound.
The Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign is usually the first stop for millions of tourists. The line for that photo is noticeably shorter this spring, and Sin City visitors are paying more.
We were here last year, almost exactly the same time, and it was probably 20% more this year.
Even the little luxuries sting.
$9 for a coffee. Like in the UK, that's what, like we pay £4, £5 for a coffee. So yeah, crazy.
Those higher prices haven't stopped convention traffic, but casual trips are down. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority says 3.39 million people came to town in March, down 7.8% from the same time last year. April saw a 5.1% drop. Hotel occupancy also slipped as the average nightly rate on the Strip reached $203 in April.
I think what's driving that largely now is just a drop in consumer confidence.
Tourists who do roll the dice here hit traffic. Months of construction and road closures for special events can turn a 10-minute ride into a crawl.
We've had so many customers say, we're never coming back to this city. You can't get anywhere.
Will and Donna Tryon operate adventure photo tours. They say higher fuel and insurance costs leave little room to cut prices. Some tours priced at $75 before COVID now cost $109.
The economy, the money, they don't have the money to spend, and the fact that Las Vegas is no longer a bargain vacation.
Even so, some travelers are willing to pay for marquee events.
It's like you can go for the fancy experience, but then you can find a place that's pretty good price.
And with a summer calendar full of concerts, festivals, and sporting events, the city insists there is a price point for every visitor. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Well, a new CBS News poll shows that Americans are a little more optimistic about the economy, with 39% now saying the economy is good, up from 37% last month. Still, many people are worried about their personal finances, with 72% saying they feel concerned and another 65% saying they feel stressed a lot or sometimes. Now, just 24% of Americans surveyed said their income is keeping up with inflation, with 76% saying theirs isn't. Well, Hormel is recalling more than 250,000 pounds of Dinty Moore beef stew because it may be contaminated with wood. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says consumers should look for 20-ounce cans with a best by date of February 2028. The cans were sold nationwide. And Chick-fil-A is keeping it peachy this summer. The chain is bringing back its peach milkshake on June 9th, marking the seasonal favorite's 16th year. Chick-fil-A is also releasing the new peach frozen lemonade. Now to look at Consumer Watch, here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, start with that look outside from 20th and Range Line in Joplin. The MoDOT camera there looking good. We do have some dense fog this morning. We've got thunderstorms tomorrow and the potential for severe weather next week. All the details when we come back.
More people are reading food labels these days. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Farmland often caught in the middle of conflict. A new report from the UN says in Gaza, more than 95% of the farmland in that area is unusable. The agency says almost 78% of farmers cannot access their fields. In Rafah and in northern Gaza, it's reported almost all ag land has been abandoned. Now, before the outbreak of conflict with Israel, agriculture accounted for about 10% of Gaza's economy, with more than 560,000 people relying on crop farming, livestock, or fishing for their income. Hormel is recalling more than 250,000 pounds of canned beef stew. The company says it's due to possible foreign material contamination, specifically wood. Hormel has received 3 consumer complaints reporting pieces of wood in its beef stew. Now, it affects 20-ounce metal cans containing Dinty Moore beef stew. There are so far no reports of injury. And it seems lots of people are reading food labels these days. From 2017 to March of 2020, USDA says 79% of U.S. adults reported they regularly looked at the nutrition facts label when deciding whether to buy a food product. What are they looking at specifically? Well, 92% reported regularly using the expiration date. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's head over to Chris for a full look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got some dense fog across the area. So we always have a good time here. Sometimes you'll catch us laughing and you're probably sitting at home going, these people are crazy. And you're probably right. At least I know I am. But we do have dense fog advisories, parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. These run through 9 a.m. and that would be because, well, we've got some dense fog out there. It's really spreading through southwest Missouri back into northwest Arkansas. So the 49 corridor from, let's say, about Jasper down south into Arkansas. Some very dense fog. So we've got Joplin, Carthage, Mount Vernon, Cassville, Anderson, Bentonville, Grove, Veneta with significantly reduced visibilities. Miami, your visibility down as well. But Cassville, Bentonville down under a mile. So you need to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you have them. Give yourself distance between you and the car ahead of you because there was somebody not too far behind me this morning. Probably should have been a little further back because even just on the road here, ran into some areas where visibility was fine and all of a sudden it drops to 0 for, a quarter mile, half mile, and then it clears out again. So just be cautious this morning. Be prepared. The deer, of course, are out in the last couple of days for whatever reason. Even though they've got a whole field of grass, they decided that they need to eat the grass that is like right next to the side of the road. They can't go out in the field. They've got to be right there. So do watch out this morning. We also have the potential for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms as we roll into Saturday afternoon and evening. Now, at this point, the risks are confined in our western counties, but we do have that chance for maybe some quarter-size hail and winds 50, 60 miles an hour with some of the stronger storms tomorrow. And we're going to show you those storms on the future track. First, we get through today. Today is great. There's just a few clouds out there. Temperatures warmer than where we have been the last few days, which is nice. Still technically below average, but hey, even just a little below average, when it's warm, it's nice. It's clear skies overnight tonight, so some patchy fog will be possible again tonight into tomorrow. Most, or at least the first half of our Saturday, is really decent. We've got just a few clouds here and there. Temperatures warming up already near 80 by noon. But as we get to about 3 o'clock or so, we start to see thunderstorm development. So that's 3, there was 4, here's 5. We have these thunderstorms, and some of these could be strong, possibly severe. So if you're doing anything, especially out west, you want to make sure after about 1, 2 o'clock, you start paying attention to the sky because that's where we're going to start to see these storms develop. They'll continue tracking off to the south and to the east. So we have these scattered storms not looking as potent as they did when they developed, but still, we want to keep an eye on them. And then we could get one more round of some scattered storms late Saturday, so by 9, 10 o'clock, that'll roll through as well. So here we are at 11, continuing right over the same paths as before. So it's something we want to monitor very closely. Not anticipating at this point anything significant, but still some stronger storms possible. And then our Sunday looks fantastic. In fact, we'll be even warmer on our Sunday than where we were for Saturday by a little bit. For today, just a few clouds here and there. Otherwise, what we call mostly clear skies. Near 60 to start our day and near 70 by 11 o'clock. And that's ahead of our highs. Most of us heading for the mid-70s. Again, just a few clouds. Some of our southern counties, upper 70s, absolutely possible. Skies clear out late this evening and overnight. Not like there's going to be that many clouds in the first place. And we'll be back down in the low 50s again with calm winds. And again, that potential for some fog. Now, as we go late Monday into Tuesday, we're starting to see shower and thunderstorm chances increase. Now, from Tuesday through next Friday, that's where we've got to watch. So by Tuesday, again, future tracks painting a broad area of where showers and storms could be. But it's this zone where we could maybe get a line of strong, potentially severe storms that'll roll to the east through Tuesday afternoon, evening, and overnight. By Wednesday, most of Wednesday is dry, but by Wednesday late afternoon into the evening, we'll start to see more scattered shower and thunderstorm chances. Those will continue overnight, Wednesday into Thursday, and we'll continue with scattered shower and thunderstorm chances Wednesday night, Thursday night into Friday, possibly into next Saturday as well. And each of those days, we're looking at least at some signals that we could get some strong, possibly severe storms. The one day right now that is still highlighted is Tuesday. This updated at 4 o'clock this morning, and honestly, it's almost the exact same spot it was yesterday, so at least no major changes. But along and west of the 69 corridor as we roll into next Tuesday, looking at that zone for strong to severe thunderstorms. But remember, as we get closer, we'll get those level 1 out of 5 risks that'll expand around this area. So something we still want to watch very closely over the next several days, and we want to watch those storm chances next week. So again, tomorrow, keep an eye to the sky. Be prepared to move indoors if you're heading out tomorrow afternoon with those thunderstorm chances building in again after 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Low 80s Sunday, mid 80s on Monday, upper 80s possible Tuesday. So it's also trying to help set the stage for those stronger storms. Well, it'll be a little cooler on Wednesday, but otherwise temperatures near average with those thunderstorm chances next week. Let's check your forecast now. Here's Elise with a check of sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, it's state tournament time for high school softball and baseball in the state of Kansas. And this year that features 8 of our local teams, including one who's trying to defend its state championship from a year ago. Now that's Frontenac, who took on Colby yesterday morning in the 3A state quarterfinals. First inning, runner on first, Avery Johnson strikes out her first batter of the day. She gets out of the first unscathed. Bottom of the inning, Frontenac with a runner on second. Alana Sullivan lays down a bunt and she's safe at first. And while the Eagles throw it around in the infield, Madison Lajadis comes home to score from second. And out of the throw, Sullivan advances to third on a ball that never left the infield. The Raiders played 3 in the first, and in the second, Skylar Hutchinson launches this ball deep to left. Now it's way out of here, and Frontenac takes the 4-0 lead. Next inning, the Raiders have 2 runners on. Hadley Goodwin drives it to center field, and it finds grass, and Frontenac plates another run. Later in the inning, Alana Sullivan lays down another bunt. Colby can't make the play. 2 more runs come home for the Raiders, which caps a 6-run third inning. It's now a 10-0 ball game, and in the 5th, Johnson strikes out the batter for out number 3. Frontenac cruises to a 10-0 run rule victory in the state quarterfinals. Today, the Raiders will look to win 2 more and become back-to-back state champs. Well, 4 more of our local baseball teams were in action at various state tournaments yesterday. Fort Scott and Colgan are the only schools to qualify for state in both softball and baseball. And Fort Scott baseball begins its trip to state with a 4-2 win over Abilene. And that means the Tigers are guaranteed to play twice today. They'll face Paola in the semifinals at 11 a.m. Winner of that game advances to the championship at 5:45. The loser will play the third place game at 3:30. That's it for sports. We'll be right back. A large litter of bat-eared foxes joined the zoo Knoxville family. 4 female and 2 male kittens are the latest additions to the Knoxville, Tennessee Zoo. Now, zoo workers say feeding and caring for all the kittens will be mostly the mom Otsumi's job until they are old enough for Dad Fern to step in and help out. Now, bat-eared foxes are native to more than 10 African countries where their population is affected by habitat loss and human-wildlife conflict.
Those are certainly big ears on those guys there. I'm sure they can hear quite a bit. Okay, let's get on with the forecast here. Here we've got a nice sunrise. We do have some patchy fog out there, so do be cautious. Just a few clouds through the day. Near 60 to start, near 70 by 11 o'clock this morning as we are cruising for a much warmer day. Mid-70s for most of us, our southern counties. Some upper 70s, not out of the question. We'll have a northwest breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Skies will be, again, they're going to be mostly clear, so you may not even notice the difference, but eventually we'll have no clouds as we go through late evening and overnight hours, and that will also set the stage, though, for the possibility of some additional patchy dense fog as we go overnight tonight into Saturday morning. Winds will be calm and temperatures back into the low to mid 50s out there. As we roll through our Saturday, most of Saturday, at least the first half, is good. After about 2 o'clock, especially in southeast Kansas, start watching the sky. Make sure you've got a place to go. We're looking at some thunderstorm chances into the afternoon and evening, some of which could be strong to severe. Will be decent for Sunday and Monday, and then we've got another severe threat starting Tuesday with some strong storms possible through at least next Friday. Let's check your forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News up next.